what's up? It's Breyonna. So today we're going to be testing out the brand new Colourpop Orchid collection, and let me tell you, I am beyond excited for this because I am the biggest sucker for purple, and this collection is purple but also vampy at the same time, which you guys know is totally my vibe. But this palette right here, just like, not only is the packaging beautiful, but the color story, I mean, just look at how smoky and rich that is. Like, this collection honestly reminds me of the Wild Child collection, but like a purple version of that. But also, like, if you haven't seen the outer casing, I mean, just look at how pretty this packaging is. Like, it's plummy purple with like gold detailing. Like, I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. But with this collection, other than the eyeshadow palette, we also have a couple of other things. Again, it's not like a super crazy large collection, but there are a couple of items to it. So we have 2 of the pressed powder blushes, and again, I will be doing swatches later on in this video. We also have 3 of the color sticks, which I'm really curious about because these are super smoky and just have like very different vibes to them. Next, we have 3 Lippy Sticks, and then the last item that we have is the Soul Body Highlighter, which I'm really excited for because I have been really liking Soul Body Highlighters recently. You know somebody means business when their hair goes up, but I did pry my eyes off camera, and let's go in with the eyeshadow palette. First, I was going to go in with this like lighter shade right here, and this one's called Red Bloom. But honestly, the more that I look at this palette, I really like this kind of like grayish, kind of like smoky purple situation right here. So we're going to go in with this one instead, and this one's called Buddies. Because I don't know, I would go in with this kind of like mauve shade first, like this rosy kind of like mauve color. But I don't know, like I just really like this like grayish purple vibe that Buddies has. Ooh, I will warn you, like this shade's really dusty in the pan, so you just want to be a little bit careful. I mean, I barely tap my brush into it, and I mean, just look at that kickback. So you just want to be a little bit mindful of that. And I guess here goes nothing, and oh yeah, it's really intense right away. But I'm just taking it on this Colourpop E22. And again, I'm first just popping this in my crease, and then blending it upwards towards my brow. But right away, it just has so much pigment. I am going to go in with a little bit more on my brush. And I'm just going to work it upwards. And I'm just going to kind of like do these little circular motions in this inner part too. Sometimes when I get a little bit chatty, it kind of looks a little bit chunky right there. And I am going to go in with a 3rd layer. But you see what I mean? Like, it is just a little bit dusty. So if you do decide to use this shade, I would definitely do your eyes first. But I would say for like a purple, this shade, it's not 100% my favorite formula because you can kind of see it does look a little bit chunky, like right in here. It's not terrible, it's just not exactly where I would want it to be. Like, I like the intensity that it has, but you can see it just does this like line situation. So what I'm going to do is actually change my brush and see if that makes a difference. So I'm just going to go in with this one from Morphe. This is an M433. It's like a pinched little blending brush. And I'm just going to try to fix that line. Yeah, I think it was the brush, not the shadow. Because right when I used this brush, it got rid of it instantly. So I wonder if these shades are just going to work better with like natural hair bristles, because that is what this Morphe one is. So on my other eye, I only use the Morphe brush, and you can see like it's not like as chunky or choppy looking. It looks way more smooth, and it was a lot easier to blend and work with too. So apparently the formula works better with a natural hair brush, or maybe just these kind of brushes in general. Because I mean, this Colourpop one, normally they act like my natural hair brushes, so I'm not too sure why this happened, but honestly, I'm actually just surprised as to how deep and rich Buddies got. Like, I was expecting it to look a little bit lighter than it did applied, but I'm also not mad about it because I just love these kinds of shades. But now we're going to go in with the deepest shade in this palette, and it is called Nuh-Uh, like Nuh-Uh kind of thing. And this is like a deeper, almost like brown in the pan. Like, it's like a brownish purple kind of shade. I'm just going to be taking this on a Morphe M507. Ooh, you know, that like deepened it up in the way that, you know, if I were to use a black shadow, the black might overpower the purple. But this shade is that kind that'll deepen up a purple without taking away from the purple. Yeah, I really like that color. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more on my brush. Do a 2nd layer. Ooh, I really like that. Because it's giving me more depth without taking away from the purple. Because that's why I don't really like using black to like deepen things up because it just overpowers so much, especially if they're really pigmented. But this is just such a beautiful color. You know, after trying out only 2 shades out of this palette, I will say this is one of those palettes, like, if you do not like deeper shades, you are not gonna like it. Like, this is a definite, like, very, like, vampy, smoky kind of vibe. But if you're just somebody that likes the Wild Nothing palette, and you like the pigmentation and the intense, like, mattes in that one, you're gonna absolutely love the ones in here. And also, if you have a deeper skin tone, these shades are, like, insanely pigmented. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that Nuh-Uh shade on that Morphe brush and just pack it onto the outer third of my lid. I'm just kind of like pressing it down. You see what I mean? It's just such a beautiful, like, rich purple, and it has just like this slight amount of brown to it, which makes it a little bit different. Again, you know, actually after applying this shade, I thought it was like a brownish purple, but after packing it on, it's just like a really like smoky, rich, deeper, kind of like plummy kind of color is how I would say it. Like, in the pan, it almost looks like it has like a brown kind of undertone, especially next to the other shades in here. But when applied, you don't see that brown kind of look to it. So I did just cut my crease off camera. So what we're going to do is kind of get rid of that like chunky line that I have going on right there. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit more of Nuh-Uh. Oh, I should do it like Nuh-Uh. I don't think you realize how many years it took me to learn how to snap my fingers. Like, I don't think I'm 26 right now, and I don't think I was able to snap my fingers until I was like 23 or 24. Like, I don't know what happened. I just woke up one day and I was able to do it. But I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of that Nuh-Uh shade on this little like shader brush. And again, I'm just gonna pack it right on that chunky harsh line. Ooh, I like that shade. Because sometimes with deeper shades, when you pack them down, they can look so dang chunky. And this one looks super smooth. And it's not doing like that chalky, dusty thing either. Ooh, I really like that shade. It is hard to find nice purples like this. So for the lid, I'm first gonna go in with this shade right here in the center of the palette, and this one's called OMG, and it's kind of like a smoky rose gold kind of shade. Like, it's kind of like a deeper rose gold, but it has like that similar vibe to it, but a little bit more pink. And then it kind of has like this bright purple like reflect in it, and that's kind of what's drawing me in because I really like this other purple shade right here, and I think they're gonna go really, really pretty together. But I'm just going to be taking it dry on this little shader brush. And let's see what it looks like. Ooh, okay. That is really pretty. I wouldn't say it's like crazy glittery though. Like, it looks a little bit more glittery in the pan on the first layer. Let's see what the second layer does. Honestly, like, at first it looked like really reflective, and then once I like buffed it in, it went away. It's kind of like more than a wearable shimmer, but it's not like extra glittery either. But it does have a lot of shine to it. You know, normally I don't like my shimmers wet anymore because I feel like they're really hard to blend into a matte, but I'm just really nosy. Yeah, like, this is one of those ones, if you want it to be intense, you have to apply it wet. Because, I mean, just look at the difference it already made. So for the rest of the lid, I'm just going to go in with this purpley pink shade, and this one's called Olive Purple. And again, I'm just going to be applying it dry with a different flat shader brush. And let's see how it looks. Yeah, this one's more of like a wearable shimmer too. Honestly, I really was hoping that they would be like extra glittery kind of shimmers. But you can see they're just kind of like that wet sheen kind of vibe. But you guys know me, I like full glam, so I bet it's not a surprise that I would want like the fully like glittery kind of shimmers. But still, like, it would have been so cool in here. But again, like, these are both really, really pretty. I do prefer this one though over the other one, just because I think it's just a really like different kind of purple. It's kind of like a grayish pinky purple when applied. And it almost has like this luminosity to it that looks just really cool. So I just did my base makeup off camera, but let's do the lower lash line first before the rest of the makeup, because honestly, I'm not too sure which like blush and lipstick I'm gonna want to go in with, and sometimes having like the eyes done kind of helps me. But for the lower lash line, I do want to go in with maybe like one or two of the color sticks that launched with this collection, but let's do some swatches first. I kind of know which ones I want to go in with, but I'm not like 100% sure. But the first one we have is this more like pinky kind of color, and this one does have sparkles in it, and this one's called Pressed. And it is a metallic formula. Ooh, that is creamy. This is a really pretty color too. It's kind of like a rosy, kind of like mauve-y kind of color. And I'll be showing you guys what they look like up close next to each other in a second. But the next one that we have is Venus Slipper. And this one's a matte sparkle, which is kind of interesting. So I'm assuming it's just like a matte with like shimmer in it. But they kind of look similar. So like the metallic and this one, like you can kind of see like they still have that same kind of like sheen vibe to them. And then the last one that we have is a full matte, and this is also the deepest one, and this one's called You Grow Girl. And I'm really excited for this one because I think this one's gonna make a really pretty eyeliner even. Ooh, that is creamy for a matte. Like it is not even dragging, like super, super pretty. Oh, I'm obsessed. In some ways I'd say the more that I look at it, the Venus Slipper one, the matte sparkle, is a little bit more sparkly than the metallic formula, which I'm actually surprised with. But for the lower lash line, I do want to go in with the darkest one first. And again, this one's called You Grow Girl. And if you've never used these before, they're just a cream eyeshadow stick. So what I'm going to do is just put it as close as I can to where my lashes grow out. And you see what I mean? Like this one's just so pigmented. And before this puppy sets in place, I'm just going to go in with a little pencil brush that's synthetic. You don't want to use a natural hair. But this is a Colourpop E28. And I'm just going to smoke it down. So to me, this shade is the exact same as the deepest matte in the palette, that Nuh-Uh shade. But like I love these cream eyeshadow sticks because they blend out really nice and they also wear really well too. Especially the matte ones that I've tried. They're essentially like the Creme Gel liner pencils, the retractable ones, but just a larger, kind of like chubbier pencil. And to set this baby in place, I'm just going to go in with this first shade that we used for the eyeshadow look called Buddies, the purpley kind of color. Not the deepest one, the first one. And I'm just going to be taking it on this little ES6 brush from Profusion. So for the inner corner highlight, I'm just going to go in with the lightest shade in the palette, and this is kind of like an icy lavender kind of shade, and it's called Pretty One. This one actually looks really glittery in the pan too. I'm just going to be taking it on this A14 little pencil brush from Anastasia, and I'm just packing it in that inner corner. Yeah, it's actually applying a lot darker than it looks in the pan. Like it looks very icy and silvery in the pan, but when applied, it's kind of like a smoky purple. Like one of those like grayish lavender kind. I'm just going to do a second layer. Like you can see it has like that icy silvery kind of vibe to it, but it also has like a grayish purple base to it. I still really like it, it just caught me a little bit off guard. My lips are looking crusty, so let's go in with one of the Lippy Sticks, and all three of these are a matte formula, but this one right here called Dancing Lady is a matte X, and I'm not too sure the difference, but again, they're all matte. So let's just swatch Dancing Lady first. Ooh, I like that they do the tip right here the same color as a lipstick. Makes it so easy to figure out like what shade you want to go in with. Oh, that is pretty. It's definitely kind of like a almost like raspberry kind of shade, and it is very matte. Even though it's like really matte, it's not like dragging dry kind of matte. Like it has a nice creaminess to it. The next one we have is one that I know I'm gonna really like, and this one is in Heavy Petal. Like this is the shade I really want to go in with, but also like the deepest one in here just looks amazing. And that's what that one, oh, that one's so pretty. And then the last one that we have is probably the one I'm going to go in with, and this one is in Orchid. And this one's just, oh, like it's like a blackberry. Ooh, that swatches a lot different than I expected. Like on the indicator right here, it looks like a blue base kind of purple that is almost like a blackberry. But when swatched, it's a little bit like a pinkier kind of purple. Yeah, we're gonna go in with it anyways because I don't know, like there's something about this color I just really like. Ooh, ooh, that is pigmented. I don't know if I like this color with this look, honestly. It's too much of like a red purple. Now, like, I feel like the eyes are more of like a neutralish purple, whereas this is like a red purple. It's kind of like throwing the vibe off. You know, at first I didn't like the lip, but honestly, like after like having it done and like applied to where I'd want it to be, I think it looks really good. I did pair it with this lip liner from Colourpop. This is the On Ice one. It's out of this Bring the Heat Lippy pencil set. It's the deepest shade in it, but it's like almost the same color. It's kind of giving me like a vampy vibe, but let's go in with the blush, and I think I know which one I'm going to go in with, but we're going to do some swatches. So the first one is the one that I am kind of considering, and this one's called Just My Pluck. And this is a very like purple blush. It's not like a pinky purple. And I'm going to do it right here. Ooh, it's a little bit more sheer than I was expecting. I'm going to do a second layer so we can see the color a little bit better. So I'm assuming this one's going to be a little bit more of a buildable formula. But that one's very buttery, and also it is extremely matte. There's absolutely no shimmer in it. The next one we have is called Potted. And this one I think is going to be beautiful on medium to deep skin tones. Ooh, I like that one even too. Ooh, that is a pretty color. And then this is what they look like next to each other side by side. Since we have just so much drama going on, I am just going to go in with the lighter blush. And again, this one's called Just My Pluck. And I'm going to be taking it on this brush from Colourpop. This is an F32. Ooh, that is pretty. Again, it's a little bit more sheer, but let's see if it builds up. So let's do a third layer on the blush. Yeah, this one's just a little bit more of like a sheer wash. I like it because it's like one of those colors I can wear with like really like dramatic eye looks, but I still wish it had just a little bit more pigment to it. Like if you're a medium skin tone, I don't think you're gonna like this one because even on me, it is a fairly like sheer kind of wash of color even after 4 layers. Even though it's very buildable and it's a little bit more sheer, honestly, I can see this being like one of my favorite colors because it's just like the perfect cool tone, like purple color without being pink. Because it's really hard to find purple blush that isn't like a pink with purple in it. And this one, like, don't get me wrong, it's kind of like a mauve-y kind of shade, but it's not like bubblegum pink. And I just feel like so many purple blushes have a lot of pink to them, or they're like really bright, whereas this one isn't. This is like the perfect like cool tone purple blush. So the last item that we have out of the collection is the Soul Body Highlighter, and this one is in Wild Orchid. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit scared of this one because it does look a little too deep for my skin tone, you know, just like looking at it. But I would say that this shade is kind of like a rose gold, but if you added like a pinky purple to the rose gold, you know, instead of like that pink and gold, it's like a pinky purple with a gold. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain it, but you can kind of see like it's gold, pink, and then if I really like turn it, you can see the purple to it. But I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from Colourpop. Ooh, that's actually interesting. Like on the brush, you see it's like really purple. Here, let me put a little bit more on my brush, but you see what I mean? Like it looks super purple on the brush. But I guess let's see how it applies. I've tried out these Soul Body highlighters in the past. There was a pink one that got discontinued that I really, really liked. And I just absolutely fell in love with it because it's like blinding and like that wet sheen without having like a ton of base pigment to it. But yeah, I don't like this one. Like it's cute from the side, but I feel like me and you're really fair. Do you see what I mean? Like it does like that like grayish like purple cast. Just yeah, like you can just see like that purple cast. Like I'm just not into it. But I will say if you do want like a pinky purple kind of highlight, I think you could wear this one if you have like a medium to deeper skin tone. But if you're fair, I would just pass on it. Like it's gonna be way too dark for you. Which is kind of a bummer because I mean, like who doesn't want like a purple rose gold kind of highlight, but nothing you can do about it. Okay, I am obsessed with how this look turned out. It's like vampy purples and just like smoky and just, oh, like I just think it turned out so cool. But let's talk about everything, and I will say overall, I really enjoyed this collection. The only thing I don't like is the Soul Body Highlighter, and that's just because I can't wear it. Again, the formula is really nice. It is very like hydrating and glowy looking. Like it's super fun if you like a blinding highlight. But again, the color is just a little bit too deep for me. But let's talk about everything else, and this eyeshadow palette I think is actually really nice. The only thing is I wish that the shimmers in here had a little bit more pizzazz to them, you know, a little bit more like sparkle and glitter to them, just because I like a lot of drama with my shimmers when I use deeper mattes, but again, that's personal preference. But again, the mattes in here are just so pigmented and rich. Again, I do recommend using natural hair bristles with this formula. I think it works a lot better, but oh, they are just so intense. If you like the Wild Child palette, you will absolutely love this formula because again, it is very similar to that one. But again, the mattes in here are that like really rich and intense kind of formula that's just like pout in your face right away. And if you like really pigmented shades, you're gonna really enjoy this one. I'm just saying the color sticks are just so underrated. I'm actually surprised that I don't see more people talk about this product because it is honestly just so good. If you like the retractable eyeliners, it's the exact same formula as those but with just like a chubbier pencil. But again, like the formula is just so creamy and pigmented and just super easy to work with and blend out. Even the metallics in here, they're just really easy to work with. And unlike the waterline and whatnot, these literally last the exact same as the retractable ones. So if you like that formula and you like cream eyeshadow sticks, I think these are totally worth checking out. As for the Lippy Stick, again, when I first applied this, I was like not really into it, but once I got it like where I wanted it to be, I have been just obsessed with it ever since. It kind of reminds me of like the vibe that I get from a black lipstick, but this one's like almost like a blackberry kind of shade instead. Like I just think it's such a stunning color, but it gives like that vampy feel like a black lipstick would. And also this is a matte formula, and even though it is a matte lipstick, it is kind of like creamy with the texture. Like it has a matte finish, but it's not like uncomfy. And also it's not like taking the life out of my lips either. Like it is not drying whatsoever. As for the pressed powder blush, I personally really like it, but I don't think everybody's gonna like the formula of this one because again, it is a little bit more of a sheer formula. It's not like a true sheer, but I'd say it's sheer when applied, but you can build it up to medium. Like it doesn't get like super crazy intense, but as you can see, even from the pan color, like it is a very light blush. If you're somebody that has a fair skin tone and you're looking for a purple mauve blush that isn't like pinky mauve, but more of like a purple mauve, you're gonna fall in love with this one. And also, this is the kind of blush that I really enjoy when I wear really dark smoky eyes. Personally, I wear a lot of purple smoky eyes and like blues and wear, you know, colors that I want like a mauve blush with that isn't like super intense, and this one is perfect for that. And also, if you're any deeper than a fair skin tone, I probably wouldn't recommend this blush because again, not only is it very sheer with the pigmentation, but also like color-wise, it's very light. I don't know if you would like it as much. But if you want something very similar, the other one in this collection called Potted, this one's like a deeper version of the one I have going on. And again, this is what it looks like. And lastly, the Wild Orchid highlighter from Soul Body. I am so sad that I can't wear this one because it is such a unique highlighter. Because again, it's kind of like a rose gold, but with like a purple twist to it. It's just very different. But unfortunately, it just gave me that like purple kind of strip on the cheek, and it just was not cute. But again, if you have a medium to deeper skin tone, you can wear this one like perfectly and you'll love it, especially if you're looking for something a little bit different and like purpley. But formula wise, this is one of those highlighters that's just like blinding. It has like that wet sheen goodness, a little bit of like a glitter vibe to it, but not like super glittery either. Like if you like a blinding highlight, this one's totally for you. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this look, and also let me know if you're going to be picking up this collection or not. But as always though, before you go, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on Instagram or TikTok, it's at Breyonna as well. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!